As I stood in the doorway, I saw chaos. The type of chaos you see in a room that was hit by a tornado. Papers everywhere, boxes, trash. As I stood in the doorway, I saw employees with that attitude. You know that attitude. You've experienced it. When you go into a store or a restaurant and you see employees who don't care about their job, don't care about themselves, and you, the customer, they don't really care about you. Now, based on my experience, I realized that this was going to be an easy fix. However, if after I retrained the manager and he didn't use some very simple strategies, I would be back there in 2 months or less with one purpose: termination. His. I'm an operations manager for a facilities management company, and I specialize in troubled accounts. And what I mean by that is, today, companies like to concentrate on their core business, and they will outsource parts of their operation, whether it be security, janitorial services, landscaping. Or they may outsource their mailrooms and copy rooms or reception areas to companies like me. And we go in with our people, our processes, but sometimes our employees forget why they're there. And instead of having customers really like us, they're trying to find a way to get rid of us, cancel a contract. And that's where I come in. I go in there and I simply turn it around. Now, we think it's about complexity, but it's about simplicity. One of the simple strategies that I've developed because of my experience and people teaching me is the true meaning of communication. People think communication is about where I talk and you listen, or you talk and I listen. True communication is about the total feedback between you and your environment. And what gets you into trouble is when you don't listen. And that was made never more clear to me than from one of my accounts. One of the accounts that I oversee is Emory School of Law. We have a mailroom, we have the reception, and we also run the copy center. Faculty and staff will bring down papers or books for us to copy. And I was in there one day in the copy center, and I had some time to kill, so I just thought I'd help out. And I started to go towards one of the boxes that needed to be copied. And immediately my staff said, Harry, wait. I said, I got it. They said, Harry, no, listen. I said, I got it. So I grabbed the box and I went and stood in front of the copier. And of course, on the box was the lid. And if you talk to my wife, I don't read directions. And in the box was a stack of papers. So I began to thumb through the papers. I noticed there were some papers that were ripped and torn. And there were some pages that had these watermarks and stains. And there were even some with brown streaks. And I thought, how in the heck am I going to get out of this? That's work. You see, you can't take those papers and just go and put them on top of the copier and just let the copier do all the work. This was work. I'm an operations manager. I don't work. So I thought, maybe I'll read the directions. Warning. Now that got my attention. Warning, this box has been stored at Atlanta Federal Penitentiary exposed to bodily fluids. It is amazing, your human mind, the images, when in the space of one sentence you read Atlanta Federal Penitentiary and bodily fluids. And I don't even want to talk about the brown streaks. But the manager that I am, I immediately blamed my staff. I says, why didn't you tell me? And they stood all nonchalantly and said, I got it. I replayed those words in my mind for the next hour as I sat in Emory Hospital emergency room, waiting for my tetanus shot and waiting for them to rip my tongue out, sterilize the pickle, and put it on the wall. All because I didn't listen. You see, if I would have been listening with my ears, I would have heard what my staff was trying to tell me. If I would have been listening with my eyes, I would have seen I was the only one not wearing rubber gloves. And if I would have been listening with my nose, when I opened that box, That fragrance? That wasn't Chanel number 5. You see, your environment tells you everything to be successful. All you have to do is listen. One of the other strategies that I've been taught and learned is your attitude towards customer service. Now, we are all in the customer service business. Whether you're talking about your external customers, retail sales, or you're talking about your internal customers, your staff, the people that you work with, or even your family and friends. We are all in the customer service business. The question, though, is not, do you believe in customer service? The question is, what are you willing to do? How far are you willing to go to provide customer service? And that's where your attitude comes into place. Because that attitude will make you successful. Again, that was made clear to me at one of my accounts. One of our accounts is a large pharmaceutical company here in Atlanta, Steve Division. And one day, one of the employees brought to us in the mailroom a package that had to go to San Francisco the next day. Next day shows up, no package. The customer called my manager and asks where the package is. He does a little research and finds out that we did not send it FedEx next day. We sent it FedEx ground. That meant 5 days. Manager called the customer up and said, the package is in transit. It will be there tomorrow, guaranteed. Is that a problem? The customer said no. Manager called me up, explained the situation. I said, the package will be there tomorrow. No problem. Then I went to my corporate office, sat in my boss, who is a regional vice president of operations. We called FedEx. We said, we need that package in San Francisco by tomorrow, period. End of discussion. They said, no problem. They did a little research and found out that package was actually on a train on the way to San Francisco. They stopped the train. They knew the rail car that was in. They took the rail car off to the side, and by hand, they went through the thousands of packages to find that. They gave it to one of the drivers. The driver went to the airport. Next day, it was delivered. Everybody was happy. Customer was ecstatic. It was a proposal. It got there on time. Manager was very happy because he got to deliver on a promise. FedEx, they were the happiest because they got to give me a bill for $5,000. I wasn't so happy. Because in my mind, now I had to go to my CEO and explain to him why I was presenting him a bill for $5,000. And of course, in my mind, I was thinking he was going to yell at me, he was going to fire me. So I walked into his office and I laid it on his desk. He didn't even look at it. He just took his checkbook out, started writing. Hal, Mr. Black, that's a check for $5,000. That's a lot of money. That's profit. He nonchalantly looked at me. He said, Harry, this customer that you helped save, we bill them $80,000 a month. They're a $1 million a year contract. And if all it takes for us to keep them happy and satisfied is a $5,000 check, I'll do it in a heartbeat. You see, he had the attitude. He would do whatever it took to save that customer. He was thinking long term. I was thinking short term. I was thinking about my mistakes, about my job. See, we think we live in a world that's complex, that has complex problems. It's about simplicity. Look at the human body. As complex as it is, 60% of it is made of simple water, H2O. The floor we stand on, the walls, everything is simple atoms. It's about simplicity. So the next time you're looking for an answer to a problem, realize it's about simplicity. As a matter of fact, it's right there, right in front of you. All you have to do is take it. But let me let you in on a little secret. It's that easy. But it's that hard. And that's what you got to remember.